guys, this is my testament to there is no right or wrong. This is like the part two. Remind you, there is no right or wrong actually opens the door to chaos. Whole purpose of you not like keeping you in a cycle of confusion. I could not tell people this that when I went through what I went through, my awakening part of my awakening consisted of there is no right or wrong to keep me in a state of confusion. There is no right or wrong to keep me in a state of confusion. And if we're not firm on principles that God teach, we will always fall into there is no right or wrong way to deal with that. Or we might even be very decisive on, yeah, this is right and this is wrong. And it screams to the point that we etch God out. Realize that these people play on there is no right or wrong to maintain chaos. Let me be real with you. I grew up in church, and it wasn't until I started a activist type thing. Like, we don't have nothing against gay people and, and stuff like that. And I found myself, okay, well, there's no right or wrong with that. We ain't got, it's true. We don't, we don't, we don't have no issue with that. But guess what? I had to awaken to. I had to awaken to demonic possession. I had to awaken to the abuse of those people. I had to awaken to a lot of different stuff where it's better to say, okay, no, I don't have an issue against that. But at the same time, I know what it is. That awakening to knowing what it is, and hopefully you don't have to figure it out. That's the whole purpose of me doing these testaments, to show you that homosexuality is nothing but demonic possession. That's what it really is. It's another person puppeteering you through there is no right or wrong to keep chaos. They're not gonna talk to you about that. A lot of times we're sitting up here, we're activists for sexuality. Oh, I am a woman. I should be sexually free and stuff like that. You you're activists for that. Yeah, there's no right or wrong for you to have sexual liberation. I'm all for you being sexually liberated, but at the same time, let's talk about what's the real issue with that. That's to keep you in a state of confusion. Because the moment you say, I don't want to be sexually active, oh, you're binding us. You're putting us in bondage. But think about it. What does the word of God says? Sexual immorality is wrong. And yeah, you're screaming sexual liberation. I'm a woman and stuff. I should be able to date a man. I should be able to holler at a man like as if I was a man and all this different stuff. And all that is a doorway to sexual immorality. It's just a doorway. And you're gonna sit up there and you're gonna start at there is no right or wrong. And the moment you don't take up God's principle says, okay, thou should not be having sex outside of wedlock. You shouldn't be committing adultery. You shouldn't be fornication. You shouldn't be funneling no man. You shouldn't be none of that. You should be focused and driven by the word of God and not giving into that thing, right? And of course, there's nothing wrong with you having a boyfriend. But let's just be real. When you have a boyfriend, things begin to go a little bonkers, right? You already got demons that's trying to motivate you into certain sexual activities with or without a boyfriend. You got all kinds of stuff that's attaching itself to you. And guess what it's using? There is no right or wrong. Because guess what? To be totally honest, harmless can be harmful. But it depends on how it works and depends on how you use it. Harmless, I have a boyfriend. There's nothing wrong with having a boyfriend. Right. There ain't nothing wrong with having a boyfriend, but there's a whole lot of harm that you can cause yourself by just having one. Let's think about you and your boyfriend. What are you and your boyfriend doing? How you and your boyfriend hanging out? See, this the devil's tool. There is no right or wrong. That's what the devil used as a tool to keep us in bondage. But guess what? You freeing and you liberating them. What you free on this earth, you free in heaven. So when you sit up there and you're getting ready and you getting ready to enter into heaven, heaven is starting to look a lot like hell. And it's a motive why it looks a lot like hell. It's looking like hell because of the simple fact that you are sitting up there and you are partaking in what seems to be harmless, but it's harming you at the same time. You're partaking in something, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but guess what? There's some stuff that can go wrong with it. And you're not being aware. We have to really start to protect ourselves the right way. And how we protect ourselves the right way is by not participating in certain activities. But we're not listening to Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul says it's better to be alone. I cannot tell you how many churches I go into. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you talking to brother so-and-so, but let's be real. Brother so-and-so sitting up there, he fighting off some demons. And these demons reign in chaos. And their job is to keep chaos going. So they're going to keep with that. There is no right or wrong. They're going to keep with doing wrong. They're going to keep with trying to keep up foolishness in your life and trying to keep up chaos. They're going to keep with a lot of, they're going to keep with the chaos. And guess what? The whole focus of it, I'm not going to tell you that the whole purpose of them keeping all this chaos and keeping up so much mischief is to keep things going in your life. There is no right or wrong. It's only a path and a doorway, sometimes two more wrong. And it scream wrongness at that. Extreme behavior at that. Either you can choose to follow the principles of the word of God, because I'm going to be real with you. When Apostle Paul says it's better to be alone, I sat up here, I'm going into church. Every church want to teach you, you got to date. You and them can get married. You got to get married. Let me be real with you. It is better to be alone. Do you know the responsibilities of a husband? Do you know how much responsibilities a wife has to have and sometimes take on? A lot of times we're dating men and their lifestyles is a part of hoism, and we don't even know because they undercover hoism people. And guess what? You're dating them. You didn't know that they had that type of lifestyle. Now you sitting up there, you suffering because they want to pass you from man to man while you unconscious and you don't know what's going on. But had you stayed to yourself, you wouldn't be going through those issues. But we have to really sit up here, read the word of God, and actually know what God is trying to teach us and preach to us and center our lives on. Because to be totally honest with you, our whole communities are completely evil. We come with a positive attitude and we have blinders on to make sure that we're not aware how evil they really are and how nasty they really get, until they ready to take those blinders off and let you see. And they ain't gonna take them all the way off. They just want you to see a little bit of evil in the sight that you already have. They ain't gonna take them blinders off. They ain't gonna remove you completely from the situation. They just want you to know, hey, look, it's corrupt. And we run things. But you have to sit up there and you have to know, look, the God that I serve, you might think you run the vineyard, but God created Eden. You might think you have domination, but God gave me authority. You might think you sit up there and you have position, but God gave me this position and this authority to tell you no. But you can't tell them no if you're under demonic possession. You can't tell them no when you're in sin. You can't tell them no when you're not in alignment with the word of God. So that right or wrong thing that they constantly keep doing is to sit up and take you from one extremist to the next. Either you're super extremely good, and that's going to create a problem, or you're super extremely bad, and that's going to create a problem. But at the same time, if you're living for God, you'll find yourself in a place where you don't have to worry about the enemy, because God is sitting up there breaking free all these yokes and burdens and chains and shackles that these people are putting on you. And extremely good isn't a bad place to be, but I'm gonna tell you what happens to extremely good people. Extremely good people get taken advantage of because they try to make them gullible. And we are not gullible people. We are people of God. We were not created to be gullible. And that's something you guys have to wake up to too. That's why that right or wrong is there too. Because with that right or wrong, they can make a person that's good extremely gullible, extremely extremely susceptible to be taken advantage of, extremely susceptible to be giving away their authority and their power and allowing people to walk all over them because they think that they're doing God's will and they're not. God said, I can't give that which is righteous to the unrighteous. And guess what? Every day they want us to give that which is righteous to people that are not righteous. Be careful with yourselves. Know that right or wrong is nothing but a doorway. And be careful no matter what way you're using it. May God bless you guys. Take care.